Woo!
What's up?
Good morning. What's up? What's up? Good morning, Mega Momentum mornings. Welcome. We got Johnny Moe with us this morning. Mr. Moe, how you doing?
Johnny Moe, what's up, brother?
Woke up, bro, so they blessed me with another day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this side of the ground, it's good. It's always good. Weather's good. It's nice. It's a nice day today.
When you start every day with a certain level of gratitude and appreciation,
For sure.
being
Love it.
here for the ability to do what we can do, for the positions that we're in, for just waking up, man. Glad that we're not being chased by tigers. You know, life's pretty good.
Helping people, man. It's a lot of gratitude in that for sure, you know.
Yeah, and it is a calling of sorts, right?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Well, we all know this. You know, like you talk to many successful people, and almost every single one of them, they start their day with gratitude. They have a morning routine. They manifest their day's successes, the impact that they're going to make, and they're also very thankful of the privilege to be able to do so. Right?
Everybody should do this.
Yeah.
Now,
what is that?
Leather bound, but this is the $19.20 version, the Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday, and it goes by the meditative practices of Marcus Aurelius and all the way back to Seneca and stuff like that. And what it is each week you have a meditation to work through, and every day you work through what that means to you, what you're grateful for based upon that and stuff like that. I think it just really helps the day to do that kind of stuff.
Oh, I've seen that one, man. I just wrote that one down, and I'm all about it, dude. So,
Ryan Halliday also writes, "Stillness is the key. Obstacle is the way." Awesome stuff. And, so many times people are trying to, go around the problem or circumvent the problem or put Band-Aids on everything, where really the only way is right through the obstacle.
Who was the author, Johnny?
Ryan Holiday.
Holiday. Okay.
Yeah, really good author.
All right, I'm done, dude. I got good notes. I'm leaving, guys. Bye.
Oh, I love the dog.
Now.
Done. Cut.
Doesn't take much.
I'll trade you the book for the blue dog.
For the blue dog.
Right? Isn't that cool? I was noticing that the other day too. That's like
what's up, man? How's life been? I know we used to talk often, dude. I know we all been kind of busy. Johnny, how you been, man?
Man, no complaints, man. Just nose to the grindstone, building Explore My Town, and got some other pretty cool things in the works that I can't announce right now. But 2020, man, breakthrough year,
yeah.
breakout year. Yeah, 20. What did I say? 2020.
Well, we actually skipped 2020 if you want to think about it. So we're good. We're all back 1 year younger, so we're good.
So many people were impacted in a negative way, and I don't want to say this and brag or anything, because that's not the intentions of it. But that slowdown that we experienced, you had two opportunities. You could do nothing and cower, or you could have done something and expanded. Mm-hmm. Right? The world was at a stop. You could either work on yourself or stop. And I worked on myself, and I said this the other day to somebody. I had to learn ActiveCampaign. I had to learn different web development platforms, WordPress and Wix, and I had to learn, become masterful in Canva. I learned 2 different web editors. I already knew 2. I had to learn 2 more, so I knew all these different things. I had to build out integrations with Dropbox. I mean, I built a whole team that I said it with my CMO this morning. I don't even see what's going on. I have so much trust in my operations manager that I only hear when there's issues, and it's like, wow, we did 32 videos this week. That's great. And everybody's happy. Everybody's getting views, and I'm like, wow. But I didn't stop. We had to put that all in. So you were given a gift, and what did you do with the gift? And that's what people have to look at. Did you do something profound, or did you stop? Because as long as you got this device that I'm on right here, device right here, you have infinite power and control of your destiny. Also,
well, you learn, Johnny. I'll tell you, man, and that's something I see time and time again when people are making excuses and whatnot and talking about what they can't do. I mean, all these things you just rattled off, dude. I mean, how much time and energy did you put into that? I mean, dude, talk about, because that's where that grind you have to be obsessed, man, with it for that success. And you and I had this conversation when you were at the very beginning phase of when you were talking about my town. I mean, it's the same thing with like Homes and City, dude. We were like, I literally still to this day, if you go to my house, I got my French doors, and I have written in Sharpie on the panels of the doors, you and I's conversations about this, man. So I was there for the beginning phase. I have to take a picture and show y'all, like, no shit, it's the panels and it's still there. My girlfriend's like, are we gonna write this, write this down? I'm like, no, I gotta take a picture. I gotta remember these things.
Listen, you need to frame that and put it like an
I
Andy
just take the
Warhol.
door off and put it in my house, dude. It's like a Banksy now, you know what I mean? Go on.
Put it right next to the blue dot.
Right.
But no, I firmly believe that. I think excuses are toxic, and I accept reasons why something didn't happen, but excuses, and what excuses really are deep down. Listen, I'm a deep person. I don't talk about the same surface crap that everybody else talks about. I actually go deep and learn about it. Psychology, I understand it. Carl Jung, I've studied it. Shadow integration, I've done it. Right, so. The thing comes down to this. Excuses are a pattern behavior. They're a pattern behavior. It's part of your pattern. It's part of you. It's part of your DNA. And the only way you can break free from those excuses is to have a systematic change. And that only comes through accountability and discipline. Well, discipline creates accountability, but it only comes through discipline and accountability. Right? How many people do you know that in the past 2 years is still complaining that they ain't selling any houses? It's the best freaking market ever, besides 05 and 06, right? I can't find any listings for my buyers. Then make a listing.
Right? Yeah, that's a perfect segue into what we kind of wanted to talk with you about today a little bit, because
let's do it.
But you're right. Like, we went through 2020, and I was literally watching agents sit back on the couch and just like, okay. Tell me when I'm allowed to go to work, or tell me when I'm allowed to do something, or tell me when I can just resume being normal. And like, we're always on a path. Like, change is the only constant. It doesn't matter if it's a balanced market, unbalanced market, if there's a pandemic or no pandemic. There's no always going to be the same thing the next day. It's always going to change. And I was impressed by the people that seized the day. They looked at it like an opportunity. It's like, oh, I got a bunch of extra time now. How am I going to fill my time to better myself and move my business forward? And then other people are sitting there just like, making bread. It's like, great, go make bread. But, make bread for 6 months, it didn't make a lot of sense to me. But you know what? Getting into the listing side of things, it's really interesting, because we're coaching people all over North America with Mega Momentum. And I'm noticing that there's some areas that are super heavy in the listings as far as being a seller's market, like 2 weeks of inventory. Like in my market, my market out in Ontario, 2 weeks of inventory. And we're right in the middle of the spring, which is traditionally when all the listings hit and there's tons of inventory happening. And I'm seeing other places like, Dallas, Fort Worth that had, 2 months, 3 months of inventory, but they're down a month. And I'm seeing Georgia, they're down a month. They had 2 months and now they're down to a month. Everybody's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And the biggest concern that we're hearing from agents across the board is it's a seller's market. How do I get listings? And they're obviously complaining about their buyers, dealing with buyers and getting priced out of the market. But really, we're always told list to live, get more listings, build your listing business. It's your lead engine. It's everything that you want.
But nobody tells them how.
Yeah. Right. You don't know. Well, they tell them how, but in a balanced market, sure. Okay. So
they tell them how in the same antiquated way that they told the other 1.5 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Nobody teaching anything new.
Exactly.
Right. You have to look outside of the country club, which is the whole industry is a country club, in my opinion. And the franchises, oh, look at us, right? Remax has their big thing going on down in Florida. They had Pitbull. How much does it cost to have Pitbull?
Right.
Do they have a CRM yet? You know what I mean?
No.
That's what I'm talking about. The antiquated country club continues to do the same thing, and that's why they're going to be out of business in 10 years or significantly impacted. Right? Because what they have is a whole bunch of middle fat, and it's that middle fat which is expensive. It is really, in a way, what's the word we're looking for? Rambo? What mean expendable? That's the word, right? From Rambo 2, when that lady asked Rambo what means expendable, right? She didn't last but 30 seconds after that scene. But Rambo, basically when they use you and they can replace you, right? It's not needed. All that middle fat's not needed. And that's going to go away. And, anyways, we're not here to talk about.
That's why they call it going lean, right? Because they're cutting out the middle fat.
They are.
Yeah.
And that's why the virtual companies are exploding.
Yeah, they're exploding like crazy. Well, okay, so you obviously deal with a lot of you're dealing with geo farming like crazy, right? With Explore My Town, and it's taken off. Like awesome to hear that you had so many videos rocking last week. That was amazing.
Yeah, right.
So and I'm a big fan of farming. We've talked about this before. Like I'm a huge fan of farming, and I know that farming done properly, relationship building, relationship marketing, that's where it's all at today as far as being able to get listings and things like that. That's my opinion, but I'd like to pick your brain on that because there's a lot of listeners right now that are out there like, how am I going to get more listings? How am I going to go, compete with all these other guys? Because what I'm seeing and what we've been seeing is that we've been seeing that most agents, the average agent has dropped their income by about 30% over the last year and a half, simply because of the seller's market. It's getting tighter, it's changing, pandemic, all that kind of stuff, adopting new technologies and systems. And then there's a few that are eating all that cheese. There's a few of them out there that are eating all that cheddar. So, and those are the ones that are relationship building and that had a geographic farm and had an established system in place already. And Explore My Town kind of feeds that.
Yeah, and man, anybody listening, right? When you hear the term, I know I am this way. When you hear the term farming or geo farm or any of that other stuff, a lot of times the preconceived notion that comes to my mind is door knocking and mailers and callers, and it's far beyond that. Because if that's what you're thinking, that's antiquated. Because there's technology now on Facebook and on Google. It may change a little bit and everything else like that, but there's even deeper than what we do, which is geofencing, right? Where you can be delivered right to the device of a particular neighborhood. But the problem is, here's the problem: 1.5 million agents in America. Up in Cananaville, there's, I don't know how many y'all got up there, but let's call it 2 million all total, right? 2 million real estate agents. 1.9 million of them are all doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? 1.95 million of them have no idea about marketing. They have no idea. And I'm not claiming to be a marketing person. I pay a PR person and I have a marketing person to tell me what our website should look like. I pay heavily for it. I pay people to tell me what our message should be, right? So with real estate agents, the majority of them have the same message. You know what that is? Right? It's the same throw up that nobody's gonna no. Listen, this is from Simon Sinek. You want to argue with me? That's fine. Argue with Simon Sinek. People don't care. People don't buy what you're selling or anything else. They buy why you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you can put out that message of why you're doing it, that's what people buy, right? So, I just sold a house in 48 hours. Well, if you didn't, you're kind of lame in this market, right? I mean, 100 offers over the asking price, 50,000 over asking price. So you got to get your messaging right. You got to get your messaging right, not be just sold another one. Oh God, do a parody, please. No, that's a rule at our office. We don't edit parodies. We won't do it. Are they funny? Well, they know whatnot. Listen, it's art, and if you like it, you like it. I'm in a different department, right? I'm over in this aisle. Those are over there. They're not my thing. Again, is a customer going to watch that? Because really, here's the thing: real estate is filled with ego. The world is filled with ego, and it's not until we reduce that ego. And this is why Zillow won. Zillow gave the consumer what the consumer wanted.
Yep, exactly.
Every real estate agent was trying to tell the consumer what they needed. And, you got to sign up and all this other stuff. Where Zillow came along and said, hey, here's all the free information. Let us know when you're ready.
Exactly.
And Zillow's a freaking verb now.
Yeah. And it's interesting, man, because the real estate agents allowed that data because we looked at it as a money aspect. And then it's interesting how it all grew, and then all of a sudden it just evolved and it's taken over. And there's so many things. You're right. As real estate, I remember when I first got into the business, we were just in that transition phase from the MLS books to like the internet. That was kind of that time. And what real estate agents always did was hoard all this stuff. I mean, when I first, there was a .2 real estate site. It was one of the first real estate sites I ever got involved with. And I remember I'd have to go to the my office next to me and the agent, knock on their door and go, "Hey, do you mind if I share your listing on my .2 site?" And I would have to go type in manually all their listing stuff. That was one of the first evolution. And I'll never forget, man, when we were first getting agents to have MLS or IDX access, like in Baton Rouge and New Orleans, it was a battle. Like the agents did not want to share that information. And all of a sudden, because we wanted to hoard and be greedy and not supply, Zillow swooped in and took over.
And in Freakonomics, now I have this written down in one of my presentations, and I don't remember exactly how it goes. And I was just looking for it, but my fingers are too fat for my phone. It says something like, when you try to hold on too tight to exclusivity, you'll lose exclusivity. Right? Yeah. And that's exactly what you just explained, right? We got the MLS. You can't get MLS unless you belong to NAR. This is RICO. You know what RICO is? Racketeering and whatever, right? That thing, right? The whole industry is RICO. You can't belong to a franchise unless you belong to the boards, right? You can't get MLS unless you belong to the boards, which there was a lawsuit. I believe it was in Georgia where somebody took them to court and stuff like that. But that's why now the franchise gets to determine whether you belong or not, right? So that's what it is, an exclusivity, because you see, I did a poll in Lab Coat Agents last year. If you didn't need NAR for MLS, this, that, would you belong? And about 70% said I wouldn't belong.
Yeah, it's forced. Forced membership through access to the information, right? But now the information is out there, and that's why Zillow has been able to be successful, because it delivered what the consumer wanted. It's like, you've all seen the presentation. We've got, Blockbuster versus, Netflix. They just delivered to the consumer what they wanted. They didn't want to go to the store anymore. They just wanted to be able to go online, get it delivered, and they send it back, and easy peasy lemon breezy. They got what they wanted.
Take that, what you just said. And because I just read this. I don't remember where I read it, but I just read it. And I hope everybody picks up on it, what I'm about to say. When Netflix came out, did they say anything about they're better than Blockbuster?
No.
What they said was, you can stream your video. Don't leave home. Stream your video. Instant access. 24/7. These were the emotional talk triggers or hot buttons and that's a great book, Talk Triggers, of their offering. It had nothing to do with we were better than Blockbuster. It had nothing to do with their competition. Wasn't even competition.
They didn't even talk about their competition. They didn't say they were better than anybody else. They just talked about what the consumer wanted.
Stream 24/7 at your convenience.
Yeah.
What? Wow, so I don't have to be there by 9, no late fees, no fee for not rewinding the VHS tape. Yes, you youngins. VHS, the tapes, if you didn't rewind it, you got charged $1.
Dude, speaking of VHS, did you guys see how much those things are selling for now?
No, God.
Man, they're actually like, people are buying these things and selling. They're like vintage pieces now, these old VCR boxes,
Right. Yeah, give me the old Tom Hopkins and Zig Ziglars. I'll buy those, though.
I bought those. Dude, I went on Facebook. Guys, you want – I got a Chevy truck I just bought with a tape player. And go on your Facebook Marketplace and go start buying some vintage Zig Ziglar. I'm going to tell you, Johnny, I'm glad you said that because I've been doing it.
This stuff is classic. That never goes away.
Hell no.
Still, Think and Grow Rich is still one of my favorite books of all time.
People ask me that all the time, man. 2 books that defined me, my business, and everything that's changed, evolved in my life. Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Those 2 books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad is the #1 book that I read. I was sitting in an IT network infrastructure army setting, working on these servers, And I don't even know how. I think I went to like some real estate investing seminar, and it was like a Kiyosaki thing. And they mentioned the book. And I sat there and read that book in one day, sitting behind these big, crazy, buzzing LED lit servers, And I said, okay, something's got to change. And I went the next day, got my real estate license, went started the courses, got into real estate, started buying investment property. And then I was like, okay, this real estate agent's I don't like this guy. I mean, a great guy. I still know him to this day, but I didn't like him as far as like his advice on what I should buy. I said, shit, I'm going to go get my real estate license. I'm going to go buy this myself. And that's how I started.
So let's segue this. Okay? Because we just talked about we just talked about the mindset of, agents and companies and Blockbuster and realtors. 99% of the realtors saying this is what you need, but the consumer actually wants something different. And if you're able to deliver to the consumer what they actually want, solve a problem, make their life easier, then you're going to be able to carve out some serious market share. And there's a lot of agents that are doing it right, and there's a lot of agents that are just trying to tell everybody what they think that they need to keep them in the traditional space where they're used to working and not evolving their own skill set. So let's segue this.
3 listing appointments today.
What's that?
3 listing appointments today. I mean, stop with the cheese, right? I shared a link, and let's take a look at that link real quick. If you could click on the link and share it, because this is going to be the perfect segue of starting to understand what nobody in this industry teaches you marketing, right? They teach you to go out there. Right? They teach you to be bad. They teach you to be cheese because they don't know. They don't know. They've been inculcated and they're part of the system. They get their salary and they don't change or grow. It takes an independent person to elicit change and growth. Let's click on something, right? You can share this with your people too. This is a powerful, powerful tool. Let's take a look. Where do you want to name a state?
Louisiana.
Click on Louisiana. That's that red boot looking thing by Texas.
Yeah.
Right there. Click on Louisiana. Now let's click on what's that green one over there?
That's the St. Tammany, I believe. Yeah, St. Tammany.
Yeah. Click on that. So now when you look at St. Tammany, you're going to look that it gained wealth from, on the left-hand column, Jefferson Parish, Orleans Parish, all these other parishes. It lost wealth to Texas, Mississippi, Texas. So what would you be? I just gave you a marketing strategy. Leaving what's it called? Mutney County, St. Tammany.
Montgomery.
Yeah, leaving St. Tammany Parish. Here's 3 things you need to know. Here's the top 5 things you need to know.
So you got to be interested. So the interesting thing about this, guys, is that these dates date back into Hurricane Katrina, and so St. Bernard Parish, Plaquemine Parish, Orleans, Jefferson, St. Charles Parish, all of those got clobbered for Hurricane Katrina, which we're looking many years now. But look at that growth. So that's really interesting to see this, man, because that's where gained wealth from. All those people who lived in Lower St. Bernard Parish and Orleans and St. Charles and Plaquemine moved to St. Tammany. So this is really a neat tool. This is neat.
That is a really cool tool. Like we have a similar situation in Canada where we got Toronto. Toronto is a massive, massive city, but it's high density, COVID and all that. Everybody wants to leave. And so there's a mass migration going out of the big city into the outlying areas a couple, 3 hours away. And what they're doing is because their prices have gone through the roof, they're liquidating their equity and moving, and they're buying cash out of, like 2 hours away out in the country, cottage, whatever. And they're putting the rest in retirement and they're retiring. And so there's a massive exodus happening at the big city. So, if you're, clearing out your equity and moving out of Toronto, like the top 3 things that you need to know, right?
Yeah.
Dustin, I see it, man. So you guys don't know, but I've actually just recently, I'm moving to Arkansas. And so I'm actually putting up a homestead like between Little Rock and Hot Springs and things like that. Guys, I believe that's the next big niche or listing rush is land again because of the cities, what's happened. And again, not politically speaking, but in the cities, things have happened. This is what happened. The mass migration is New Orleans. People started going to what we call St. Tammany Parish, which was north of Lake Pontchartrain. I think that's your next big listing niche, land. You start going there. People, I wrote a word earlier, Johnny, when you were talking, homesteading, because you were talking about something. People are homesteading, getting land and building upon that. And guys, if you could start grabbing up land and doing listing lands and things like that and marketing it, I tell you, I think that's a huge niche that could break open for you. I really do.
Let me broaden your horizon just a little bit. That is exactly what we did when we had the last boom. We were buying land 45 minutes to an hour outside of the metropolis.
Yep.
That's all been developed now.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. You're right.
You know what I mean? So when I say create the listing, that's what I'm talking about. Listen, I poop and it stinks. I bleed red. I'm just like every other human in this world. There's no difference between what I've done and what anybody else has done, right? So here's the thing. I have worked on $25 million land acquisition. The whole project was $25 million, but land acquisitions and putting pieces together so that we could turn it into commercial, because this piece was commercial, this piece it wasn't. But if they were contiguous and we had this piece, then it was all commercial. We had water and sewer to the street, all these other things. Yeah, it took 2 years before you broke ground, but it was a $25 million project, right? I've worked on neighborhoods that were 150. All because we went out and did the work. The problem is most real estate agents are broke, and they're looking for a paycheck in the next couple of weeks because they got to eat and pay their bills. Right?
Yeah, they're not thinking long term. They don't have legacy thinking, right?
Yeah, exactly that. And you got to be thinking, how can I do this? I've worked with investors. We've fixed and flipped. I've fixed and flipped properties myself, which might not be out there right now. Right, but here's the thing. I do a webinar every other week with David Childers from Keeping Current Matters. And one of the things that we always touch on is the forbearance and everything. And a lot of people are like, oh, the market's going to crash because all these people that were in forbearance are going to come to fruition and blah, 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 blah. The average person is behind by $6,000. So it's not like it's an astronomical fee. But believe me, it is for a lot of people.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But when only 15% of the people in forbearance don't have a plan, or haven't, and the majority of them have already became whole again. How are you positioning yourself to help those people? Have questions about your forbearance? Question mark. Exactly.
You're just talking about solving problems that they actually have, and thinking outside of the box. Stop. Please stop going out there and saying, hey, free CMA, right? Let me get you a market assessment on your property. Looking to sell anytime in the next
seminar, guys.
Right? No, come on. That's bullshit. There's every single other agent that doesn't know how to think outside of the box is doing exactly the same thing. So you're a clone of a whole bunch of people chasing their own tails, and they are not making any money. Meanwhile, the guy or the girl that's solving problems, that's marketing themselves to specifically solve a seller's problem to a niche market, to a demographic, they're eating your meal. They're eating all the cheese, man.
Yeah, him and Ha, man. They ate all that cheese.
That's him and Ha. That's right. That's right.
All right. Dude, you got, Explore My Town, and we briefly before we came on, you and I have talked about this a lot. What are people doing for this, man? I know you have a product and we could talk about that, but what are people doing? What are you doing? What are the people you're working with doing that are fixing this problem?
So, really simple. We are in the relationship business. Yeah. And they're making relationships with business owners. This is something that I've preached since first day in the business. Is B2B, Chamber of Commerce, right? Become an esteemed member of the community. When somebody says about the community, they're like, he's a leader, she's a leader, right? Oh, we can count on that person. Be a person of integrity. Don't be a person of limiting mindset. Don't make it about money. Make it about other people. So here we are. We're in a relationship business. So we need to create relationships. Relationships create conversations. The more conversations we have, well, the more sales and referrals that happen. Now, here's something else. NAR stats, 75% of people go with the first agent they talk to. I'm going to say it again. 75% of the people go with the first agent they talk to. So here we are in the relationship business. Here we are, 75% of people go with the first agent they talk to. Let's go one more. Let's say that the new stats just came out. 72% of buyers found their agent by some form of referral. They used them in the past, or they knew them through the community. Are these numbers not mind-boggling? I don't know why anybody would wait. When 4 or 7% come from online, like leads, portals, those types of things. Let everybody fight over that, because Hannibal Lecter said it best. When people are scared, they covet. So everybody goes right back to that. They go right back to the phone. They go right back to the old things that don't work, because there's some sort of resistance or reluctance. And the best way to communicate with people, the best way to come with an offering is video.
Yep.
I call it video networking. And that's what we do. We do video networking. We promote other people. We promote other businesses. We promote the community. We talk about a good vibe. We're not doing parodies. We're not pouring a number 10 can of Cheese Whiz on the counter, mixing it all up to try to get that 5-minute view so we can try to monetize our channel. No, that stuff is mind-numbing, stupid stuff. We're bringing good stuff, and that's why our videos, that's why our channel is getting 30,000 views. 30,000 minutes per month. That's why, you know how many days that is? That's like 19 days.
Yeah,
so
straight
my South Carolina channel has been viewed 19 24-hour days because of the engagement. No, it's not just video. There's marketing behind it and ad spend and stuff like that. Because if you do a video, and you all know how social media works, you come out and it's like, there you go, right?
Yeah.
It's a pay-to-play game. So now you come out, right when it's about the tail, we bump it up with retargeting ads and everything else like that.
Sure.
Now, all of a sudden, you got 15,000 views on your video. 15,000 views of your name, of your face, of your at the end saying, hey, use me, right?
Right.
And what's happening is the businesses, the people in the community, BNI, Business Network and International people. I have a partner in Valdosta, Georgia, who just 2-3 weeks ago interviewed the regional director of BNI because they love what she's doing. Wow. She's giving back, and KW has a term coming from contribution, right? That is real. And if you can give other people stuff, I don't know if I'm choppy and you guys are screaming, but I'm choppy, yeah. But if you can,
you're choppy a little bit.
You're good on mine.
And I'm plugged into my upgraded internet. I don't quite understand.
You know what, Johnny? Can we unpack this just real quick? Because you drop nuggets every second sentence, and I just want to be able to just retract here and talk about this for.
People's ears are bleeding right now.
Well, you talked about dropping cheese and all these agents out there just putting cheese out there, and memes and parodies and all kinds of different things just to get views. And there's a big difference between entertaining views and getting likes and getting views that are vanity metrics. They're simply vanity metrics. They're just like, oh, lots of people looked at me, but not very many people were terribly interested or impacted by the content. I think there's a really big difference between the two of them. And if you're going to be putting a lot of energy, time, or money into getting your brand out, getting your marketing out there, you got to understand the difference between the number of views and actually people that are interested in the content that you're watching, like people that actually watch the whole video, or people that give a shit about the content or the business that you're promoting. Something like that. Oh, I think Johnny is.
Yeah, he's lagging a little bit on us.
He's choppy.
You doing a robot?
That's right. But that's not bad. It's still pretty entertaining.
Right?
You're right. Vanity metrics.
Matrix, robot, what are we doing?
Yeah, there he is. He's stuck in the Matrix. He was talking.
I'm trying to shut stuff down. Is this any better?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah. Well, maybe not.
No, maybe.
But
Is this any better?
Yes, we can hear you.
And you know what I'm going to do? Hold on.
But with that, Dustin,
yeah,
with
for
that
some reason, I only have 5% on my battery, so I'm getting something.
Yeah, when your battery dies on these things, man, it's like my Mac will let the battery die. It instantly starts taking other resources.
Hold on.
And a whole other technique we got to start figuring out.
I'm going to turn Wi-Fi on, see if that improves it any better.
Right. But I think it's important. I think it's really important to keep in mind that you can get onto TikTok and
can you hear me?
Waste 6 hours. Yeah, we can hear you. You can get onto TikTok and waste 6 hours just entertaining yourself. But the same thing goes for the other side of the fence. You know, you can put all kinds of content out there and a bunch of junk out there just to vomit it onto the internet just to be able to get some views.
Anyways,
but man, that actually doesn't move your business forward. Those people are just looking for entertainment. They're not really impacted by what you're actually doing, and quality content in the community, quality content, video, promoting a business, that type of thing. That's probably one of the strongest ways that you can get, mind share and build community loyalty and be seen as a pillarized, advocate for your local community, right?
No, it's huge, and I fell down that TikTok rabbit hole, I guess, for a minute myself. Is that just looking at the thing, because there's so much content. I used to collect sports cards as a kid. I got a ton of sports cards. Well, dude, if you want to go down that rabbit hole of sports cards on TikTok, you can. Okay, trust me. But it's like, wait. I think one night I went to like 1 o'clock in the morning just looking at stuff like that. I'm like, what in the hell am I doing? Why?
Right.
And I get it. It's entertainment. It's like the new TV and things like that. Understandable, but man, it's like, unless you can use that and for some type of, I think, in your business to propel forward. But even then, I'm like, what can you use? TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I mean, you can go crazy, and I think niching out and figuring out what works for you is really important.
Yeah, for sure. And like, we just ran our challenge.
Oh,
there he is. You back?
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. Am I choppy or not?
You're a little choppy. We can hear you.
Yeah.
And
cool. Well, here, let me just. I'm going to stop my camera for a minute. I don't know. This thing is saying it's at 5%. And it doesn't move, and it's completely unresponsive. And it's just, buy a Mac, everybody. They're the best. Anyways,
don't start it.
We can hear you good. Look, you turn the camera and look, talking. We hear you now.
Yeah, I mean, a MacBook Pro can't even handle me. But anyways, you got to do what you like to do. First of all, do what you like to do. Otherwise, there's no passion.
True, man.
Right?
So true.
And but be different. Be different than everybody else, and that's why we follow the philosophy that we do. And here's the thing. And this is from Simon Sinek. I think I might have said that. People, why? Right? People love stories. People want to know why. Why are you doing something? But if you can tell other people's stories, that sells. Right? Yep. So tell other people's stories. The problem, what holds most people back, is they go out there, they run out there, and they do a video, and they don't know how to edit, and the video sucks. Right? Yeah. So it doesn't garner much attention. And I'm not saying it needs to be a Hollywood piece, but it should be cleaned up a little bit. Don't get me wrong. There's certain instances where raw video works, right? But if you're going to put out a piece that you're going to go talk to a sub shop, or you're going to go talk to, some other business in town, a brewery or something else like that, they're depending on you to deliver a quality piece too. They don't want a crap piece. So either learn how to edit or hire somebody to edit for you. Right.
You do this in Explore My Town. Like you offer an amazing service to make it super easy, and a platform and all this kind of stuff. So if somebody wants to tap in, Johnny, why don't you give us your website, exploremytown.com? Is that what it is?
No, that's that's where they're housed. Those sites are housed, but partner with My Town is the marketing site that'll explain everything.
Partner My Town. You can go into Fiverr and you can hire some guy or girl or whatever, and you can get somebody to edit, or you can learn how to edit yourself, or you can hire a high-end service.
Hey, look, I tell you, editing stuff, guys, I've been down that rabbit hole. Jeez. I got, was it Camtasia? I went down, and I was doing like a video for I think it was for EXP or whatever. Man, I was like 8 hours into editing this sucker, and I'm like, this ain't even worth it. I mean,
guys, like one of my coaches, he was famous for saying this all the time, all the time. And no offense to anybody out there that is doing editing work, but guys, like, you don't make $1 million by doing $20 an hour work. It's physically, you cannot do it. So 8 hours of video editing, what could you have done in those 8 hours? And I see that with agents all the time. Like, you want more listings. Oh, yeah, I'm working on a flyer. Okay, how long did you work on that flyer for? Where's it going to go? How are you going to use it? Oh, yeah, I spent the last 2 days working on this flyer, and I think it's really good. I'm like, fan-freaking-tastic. Good job, right? You just wasted 2 days on $20 an hour work, and you still didn't end up with anything in your pocket, right?
Yep.
You don't make $1 million by doing that.
Isn't that, you're right. And that's one of the things that I would coach on forever is leverage, right? I'm not going to do my books either. I'm going to pay a bookkeeper $30-$40 an hour to do it, right? My time's worth $500 an hour, at a minimum. It's $500 an hour, and I'm not going to do $12 an hour work. I mean, I had to. There's a time where you had to. I had to train the editors. My thing's down to 4%, so I might get kicked off. I don't know what's going on. I'm plugged in and everything.
It's all good, man.
Real quick before, guys, do you have any questions for Johnny before we lose in a minute? You guys have any questions for him? Just leave in the comments. We can continue the conversation. Do you have a question for him about video editing, My Town, YouTube marketing, video for listings? Shoot them right now, real quick, if you could.
Yeah, and I mean, somebody can go. If you want to learn how to edit. You can go to learn how to edit. What is it? Learnhowtoeditvideos.com, right? Learn how. This thing is. I'm about to throw it. You don't even understand. Learn how to
feel the frustration from Mexico.
Learnhowtoeditvideo.com.
Well, the energy coming from this direction. I can. John's getting.
Yeah, that's a little bit. Learn how to video.
It's not feng shui. So.
What was it? Website again, Johnny?
Learnhowtoeditvideo.com.
Okay, nice.
I got a course there. You know what I mean? We go through 4 or 5 different ones, green screens. We add titles, transitions, lower thirds, all these other things to make a video look good. And,
what do you recommend for software as far as that, Johnny? What do you guys recommend, was?
I would recommend an entry-level system like WeVideo.
WeVideo?
Yeah.
WeVideo.
Okay.
I think it's $49 a month.
For the longest time, I was using OpenShot, and it's a free video editing software, and it was easy peasy. It wasn't too difficult. Actually, you can actually do some decent production on it too. But it was OpenShot was so WeVideo, OpenShot. There's a couple of different ones out there that all you need to do is be able to cut and splice up some video, manage layers. That's all you have to do is learn how to manage some layers, splice some video in, put some bumpers on, maybe a logo, something like that, and that's just a layer as well. Edit some audio, add some music. It doesn't need to be more complicated than that. You just need to be able to clean up your video to make it look a little bit more professional.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I see that, man. I'll tell you, guys, I was, with my transition moving into Little Rock Hot Springs area, first thing I did, I went on there and searched Hot Springs, Arkansas, Hot Springs Village, which is the place that I'm actually moving to. And I'm like, damn, I think if you look in most markets, guys, you have little to no competition. And the competition you do have, there was a house, I can't remember the company that listed it, but it was a house for sale. I thought it was vintage. I really did. I thought it was like a video that was done in the 80s, which I know YouTube wasn't around, guys. I'm being sarcastic. But the fact is, this was like a month ago. And I'm like, it's like still pictures, moving, distorted, fade-looking pictures. And I'm like, man, if someone would have said, walk the street of this neighborhood or this area, Hot Springs Village is like the biggest gated community in the world. I think it's like 30, 40-mile gated community. If someone would have had videos and pictures of things like that, I'd be like, okay, I'm calling that person right away. Right away. Average price point in this neighborhood, $400,000. It is a neighborhood. It's guys, go do yourself a favor and Google. And it's one thing we're going to talk about, because not only am I going to a neighborhood like this, I'm going to implement the systems we're talking about to dominate a neighborhood like this. And we're going to all be talking about doing this inside of Mega Momentum too. So watch out. We're going to drop some stuff with this one.
So, yeah, and you know what, man? What you just said is great. You get to know the area. Stop being like everybody else. Make good quality video promoting other people. Stop making it about you. That's an ego thing, and I get it. You don't know what else to talk about. I can promise you that when you make life about other people, things change.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it does.
Restaurants. I told my agents, I had agents in New York when COVID hit. And things, and New York was really bad about you couldn't go in places and do things. But I told them, I said, man, you live in Brooklyn. Go walk down that street, left, right, front, back. And in that block, you got each block, you got 10, 20, 30 business owners who are struggling just like you. And he's like, man, Anthony, I can't go in the building. I said, well, you can knock on the door and talk to him, right? And he's like, yeah, I could. And he did. And he went out there, started meeting people and talking to them. And they said, hey, I'm a business owner. I'm a local real estate agent. How can I help you? And you continue to do that, especially as things hopefully die down. And if you can get that into video, I mean, you're helping a fellow business owner like yourself, like you said, the B&I, B2B, you're creating this opportunity with so many other people, and you're helping people.
I'm going to teach you how to make $100,000 right now. Share the screen.
Share the screen.
Can you see this?
Yeah.
This is what I follow. This is a My Town exclusive.
There we go.
One video, life, the community, overview of the community, parks and attractions, neighborhoods. Now, this isn't just for Facebook. When you learn how to optimize these things, write good descriptions, and use TubeBuddy and come up with good titles, then you can rank well on YouTube.
Right.
And Facebook is quick. YouTube is legacy, right? 2 a month, living or showcase, different businesses, restaurants, fun, nightlife. Who's got the best chicken wings? Who's got the best pizza? Who's got the best burger? Who's got the best vegan meals, right? I mean, you can do – it's endless. 3 per week, validation, testimonials, and shout-outs. Clients, like, hey, everybody, if you need a good contract, Jimmy here from Jimmy's Remodeling, awesome, has integrity, is fair in his pricing, and he does great work, right? Always cleans up his mess, too. And when Jimmy comes to do his job, his crew is there until the job is finished. There's no, we're going to start now, 3 hours here, come back in 4 days, like most of the others, right? They're good. They show up. They do the work on time. And then pop-ups. Hey, everybody, I'm over here at Topo Chico. Topo Chico is, made fresh every single day. Tina's Bean is what I usually use, right? Stop in and see Tina's Bean. If you make your social media about other people, you're going to win, right? Okay, well, how do I unshare? Okay, cool. You're going to make it. You're going to win. You're going to make it about other people. Have a strategy to each one of them. Tristan Ahamuda has Stay, S-T-A-Y. I forget what that stands for. I came up with Giver, because I wanted 5, G-I-V-E-R. And Mondays are about gratitude. Tuesdays are about inspiration. Wednesdays are about visualization. Thursday is about engagement or encouragement. R is about reflecting, right? Now I have this is so basic, right? Now each day I know what my mode of posting is going to be, and I post something around that I find from my readings or something that inspired me or triggered that. And if you follow, listen, the whole reason McDonald's is successful isn't because they make the best cheeseburger.
No,
they make a consistent cheeseburger, right? You're you're getting. Right? I mean, well, you think you know what you're getting. You know what you're ordering. What you're getting is up for grabs. Who knows?
That's a totally different video. That's a different podcast entirely.
But think about that, right? You come up with a system and be consistent with it.
Yeah.
Monday is this. Tuesday is that. And you don't have to we do a lot of video, edited video. Hey, listen, man, if you do one a week while you're batting 1,000, most of our clients do a month. Right.
That's exactly it, though, Johnny. I mean, people don't have the systems in the schedule. I mean, we preach that time and time again. Have the system, put it on the schedule. That's 2 of the most basic and most important things you could do in your real estate business. And yet I know for a fact 90% of agents don't even have that together. It's just like this podcast right now. We have a system for it, and we have a schedule. And like just recently, Johnny and I, it was kind of off the cusp, but we had someone cancel. We had someone scheduled for today. And I was messaging Johnny, last night, this morning, I had a system, a redundant system. If someone cancels, I have these go-to people. I mean, Johnny and I have been good friends, for a long time, and I can rely on people. That's a system, and that's what you have to base this around. Because, guys, mark my word, if you don't have your systems in place or your schedule locked down solid, you won't do any of this shit. You won't. And I'll hear time and time again. Now, I'm going to call people, Angel, Angela, everybody right now. You know who I'm talking about, right? Tomorrow.
No, Anthony, forgive me. I'm going to correct you for 1 second because they will do it. They will do it. They will do it. Right? They'll do it for a week. They'll do it for 2 weeks. And then they'll quit. They won't be consistent. They'll be like, and then they'll try it like 3 months later and do it again. It's like, oh, this shit doesn't work.
Well, that's what that's Angel and Angela. Tomorrow's coaching call. I want to see your Instagrams. I want to see that geo-targeted niche content we've been talking about.
Yeah, man.
I've been watching your Instagrams. I know. Okay.
Listen, I'm going to say this. No matter what you do, no matter what your strategy is, no matter what your likes are, it only works if you do.
Yeah. So right.
So whether it's video, whether it's IG, I know people that are uber successful on LinkedIn, whatever your thing is, it only works if you do.
Yeah. If you do a lot too, or consistently, that's
Listen,
exactly
Consistency.
even Redx $100 a month doesn't do a lick of good if ain't nobody picking up the phone or logging in to put in the headpiece, right? Redx is absolutely 100% unequivocally useless unless somebody's using it.
Yeah. So true.
Same with
I
video.
got my Mojo system. I haven't logged into my Mojo system probably 2-3 months yet. I'm paying for it, but I'm not making the phone calls.
Now, don't get me wrong. You give me $5,000, I can build a pretty integrated system for you that kind of works on its own, right? Yeah. Here's another, right? But it takes time, it takes energy, it takes money to be able to do that. And I think that's there's a lot of impatience in this game because everybody coming into it is coming in with a salaried mindset. We've been programmed that way through school.
Mm-hmm.
Our parents through sociology, even say bye. We've been programmed to a certain way, and so to come into this, where when you go to work at a job, I get my first paycheck in 2 weeks. Man, it might be 2 months before you see a rip if you're good and lucky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And hey, listen, man, you're opening up your own business, selling homes, a service-based business.
That's right.
If you sell muffins, you need to know how many muffins you need to sell in order to turn a profit. You need to know how much. What happens if you don't sell those muffins? What happens if you make the muffins? You got to throw them away. You're still going to pay for the material, right? The supply.
Mm-hmm. Let alone your time, everything else. It's something that I was talking to a marketer, and I just wanted to talk about this really briefly around building an audience and the reason why consistency is so important. When we get your favorite show on Netflix or whatever, and it's coming out on a weekly basis, and they're not just giving you the whole season all at once like they do now, but like your favorite show or your news show or whatever it is, and they come out and they do it consistently every week at the same time, the same day, every single week. It's something that you can build your schedule around or that you can rely on so that you can go get that content, right? And that's why consistency is so important, because believe it or not, you're building an audience and you're attracting people that want to get your content on a regular basis, right? Like we're doing this show right now. We've got 20 people on the show most of the time, right?
Yep.
And so we're always on the show Tuesdays and Thursdays. By the way, like our YouTube channel and have some fun with us. But the consistency creates an audience, and if you can create that audience and you can provide consistent value to them, you're building that relationship over time. And so that's why we keep on saying, like, if your audience is home sellers in the neighborhood, or if your audience is all the businesses in a town, like in Tulum, Mexico right now, hitting all the businesses, talking to them, using Johnny Mo's formula, building out that audience and doing that consistently, that creates that relationship with my target market so that I can serve those people. And that just creates those leads literally walking through the door. What you're looking for, guys, is this is all marketing, this is all branding, this is all getting visibility out there so that people call you and say, I want to list my property, right? This isn't internet lead. This isn't like a Facebook lead, a 50-cent Facebook lead that you got to call them 50 times just to find out that they already bought somewhere else and everything else. Like, this is
break leads down to you real quick. 50 million leads generated. 50 million leads generated last year.
Yeah.
5.2 or 5.6, something like that, million homes sold. Do the math. And then take a look at NAR statistics to see where consumers found their agent. 4% buyers were internet, 7%. 4% buyers and 7% sellers said the internet of sorts.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
people spend so much money on it.
Of people is fighting over this small portion of crap. And don't get me wrong, if you're able to figure out that gold vein, you can make a lot of money.
A lot of
if you can get a system that makes it work for you, yeah, you can do really well.
But if you're new, and even Gary Keller said this years ago, that, you know, large teams, mega teams are the future, because they're the ones that are going to be able to afford the Zillow share, the penetration and the market penetration. Because you're not starting in Temecula, California.
Right. It is, man, like
successful with $100 a month budget.
Yep.
No.
One of my buddies in Baton Rouge, man, he spends a lot of money on this team. He's a Keller Williams team, man, and he spends a lot of money on Zillow. And he's like, Anthony, people can argue me all day long. It works, but also, too, this dude's a big, badass team. He spends a lot of money. He's wrapped his arms around. Gary Keller said that if you can wrap your arms around a big enough circle of community, no matter how you do it, if you pay for it or not, it does work. Okay. But again, if you, like you said, in some small town, $100 a month for Zillow, I mean, shit, you're in trouble. You got to get to that. I mean, I can tell you, we'll probably get him on the Mega Morning soon. But I mean, I'm talking $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 budget that people are spending that are doing it very well.
Yeah, and you know what? Gary also, as you were saying that, it popped into my head. If you need an attorney, do you know a trusted attorney in your community to call?
Right.
Do you know a trusted plumber?
Right.
Trusted electrician? Trusted financial advisor? People will call your inner circle, your allied forces, or your power circle.
Yep. Dude, when I see a phone book, guys, I grab it. People laugh at me. I have phone books in my house. You know why I got a phone book in my house? It's the ultimate mind jogger. It's an ultimate. You go down that list. You start with the A's, the B's, the C's. I mean, I literally keep a phone book now because I coach people up, and I think it was, if I remember correctly, I heard it from like maybe Ben Kenny back in the day, and he literally said when he do lead generation with his team, he would plop a phone book on their desk. And this is years ago. But I mean, you do it, guys. Go to it. Go. You live in a small community. Go find a phone book, which I know they're hard to find. And don't tell me the bullshit you're going to go online and pull up the Yellow Pages. No, get a phone book. Start with the A's, attorneys. You know, A's. You could build a database, a resource database with small businesses, people you know, sphere of influence into the thousands. With a phone book, which is antiquated, people throw them away now. Tell you, phone books are gold for this type of activity.
So two things, right? Keith Lucas, my Charleston partner, said this the other day. He's an ex-Floyd Wickman sweat hog or whatever, right? He said, he goes, you know why you start with Z? I said, no, I have no idea. He goes, because most people don't make it through A, right? He goes, so start where nobody's been. And so that's good. But you can also take what you had just said, what I've been saying. Now you bring it online to Facebook, and you have a community group. Not selling crap, not a yard sale group, just a connection group. I have a friend who started one in the Low Country right when COVID hit. Her husband's a chef. She wanted to do something. That group's over 35,000 people now and super engaged, and all it talks about is food, right? Local restaurants. So thing is this. Food, this is why I use food. I love food. Food is one of the last things to bridge cultures without arguing, right? Yep. I want to sit down. I want to eat that Jamaican jerk chicken. I want to try that Caribbean pork or the Cuban pork. I want to eat those empanadas from Brazil, and I want to know the difference between the Brazilian ones and Argentina, or the Argentinian ones and the Colombian ones that are made with a different flour. I want to try that Vietnamese pho. I want to try that bun or whatever they call it. I want to try that Russian pelmeni, right? I want to try that Middle Eastern cuisine. I love it too, kibinaya and all these other things. Have the Zoom with your lachamishwa, right? So food is the last thing that really brings and bridges people together, and that's why this guy was so successful, right? Anthony Bourdain. I mean, you see, we'll just quote him. That's why, Guy Fieri's show is so successful. People want that. Give people what they want. Give them the damn chicken wing, right? But you can do it in a Facebook group. You can do it. I can give you example after example of people who started community groups who have 20, 30,000 people in these groups who are doing 20, 30, $40 million a year in business. Yep. Now, don't get me wrong. You might not do that in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Right. So these people are in really nice high-end areas. So, but you also don't need $1 million a year to live in Hot Springs. Right?
That's right.
So it's all relative. So again, everything works, nothing doesn't. You've got to have this strategy drawn out somewhere on a piece of paper to say, I'm going to have a Facebook group. I'm going to do video. I'm going to put my videos into the Facebook group. I'm going to write a blog about it. I'm going to share it here. I'm going to put it on YouTube. I'm going to use the blog as a description. I went to TubeBuddy. I rank at a 67 or an 88 or a 99 for my title, and let life happen. You don't plant a cucumber seed at 9 a.m., water it, and then eat that cucumber at noon. You got to give it time. You got to give it time for the process to happen. So yeah, you're going to do a lot of stuff. And take Gary Vaynerchuk. Have you guys ever heard of him?
Who was it?
Gary Vaynerchuk. He's this.
Hell yeah.
Right. He worked at a wine store or something else like that.
Yeah, Wine World. Yeah, well, not Wine World. Yeah.
Right. Look at Gary V. Probably the most known. Entrepreneur out there.
You want to talk about giving yourself reasons why you can't? If you know this about Gary V, he wasn't even of legal age to drink wine when he started Wine TV, Talk TV. Okay? And then but that's what people give reasons why they can't.
Yeah, stop looking for the reasons why you can't. Start looking for the reasons how you can, right? How might you actually achieve something, right?
But there's a video out there of Gary Vaynerchuk of every show, and it shows how many people were on each show, and it's like 1, 3, 6. But he kept doing it. And after like the 56th episode, it was like 42, 61. And then all of a sudden you went to the 150, 200, 300 episodes, 200, 300, 600. And he took the business from 3 million to like 30 million.
Yeah.
Oh, man. We got to get you to come back on the show. We got to get you to come back. It's always such a talk with you, my friend.
I repeat customers, man, and you kick ass all the time, guys. Explore my town. Get with Johnny. Look, go into lab coat agents, go into real estate agents that really work these groups. Johnny's very active on Facebook. Look, and I tell you one thing, man, you communicate with everybody. I see it. You're always talking back. He's not that guy, that guru that's gonna hide and kind of like make you pay to speak to him. This guy is very open to everything, and we've been talking for years. It's a pleasure, man.
Yeah, and I'll send you an invoice. If you pay it, you pay it, though. Honestly.
All right, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on the show today. Mega Mornings today. We had the pleasure of Johnny Mo. Peace out, brother. Everybody, we need more coffee. All right, so don't forget, like our YouTube channel, right? If you're watching this right now, you want to follow us a little bit more, just like our YouTube channel. We'll see you on Thursday, Tuesdays and Thursday, Mega Mornings with mega agents around the world. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time today. Have a fantastic day. Go crush it. Ciao, everybody.